In those days, those could be hot and also poke you.
Firecracker?
No, the stick of the sparkler.
Oh yeah.
It's all covered with iron, and then that burns and sparkles. It's very pretty, of course. And nobody ever really got hurt much. Once in a while, somebody'd kick a fire that had been covered up.
Oh.
It would hurt, but they didn't get real bad burns. Thank goodness. And we used to sleep out there in the sand.
At Rio Del Mar?
Yeah. I guess you didn't get to do that, did you?
No. Where was that?
Well, it was that big house that goes up the cliff. Anyway, there's a big house that starts at the beach and goes halfway up the cliff. And, well, it's 3 or 4 stories high. And then there's also a path that goes all the way up to the top.
Is this in California, though?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's right down the beach from Rio Del Mar, from New Brighton Beach.
Okay.
Where there used to be the ship.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And the ship is an interesting history in that later we found out that ship had been designed by Mary Johnson's father. And then it was an iron cement ship.
Yeah.
And but it was built before World War II, and I guess it must have been for a much earlier war, because by that time it was moored at the end of the pier at Rio Del Mar, at New Brighton Beach, and for a long time it was a ship that went out to the 3-mile limit so that people could gamble on it.
Oh.
And then later it just got tied up there, and for a while it was a place to have suppers and things. And then after that it was just a sort of a curiosity. You could go out and look around and come back. And then gradually it got in worse and worse condition, and finally now it's broken in two, and I'm not sure it's even there.
It is there, but it is broken in two and looks halfway submerged.
Yeah.
And it's covered with birds.
Covered with birds. Yeah, you wouldn't want to climb on it very well.
No, not anymore.
And I remember trying to help one of the kids to fish off the pier, and I showed him how you throw the bait over the pier, and the sheriff or whoever it was came along and said, "Oh, you've got to pay and get a license." I said, "All I'm doing is helping this kid." Well, that counts. Oh, that wasn't fair. I don't even like to fish. But the fish run there at different times. They have what they call a grunion run.
Oh, yeah.
Where the grunion come, and they just come. It's like all of a sudden the water is full of fish. And they're maybe 4 or 5 inches long. And you just get a bucket and fill it up, and then you take them in and clean them up. And luckily I wasn't old enough to have to clean them all up. Yeah, I'm afraid our forebears were a little less squeamish than we were about how to do things. And we knew what a 3-holder was. No. I don't know whether you still know what a 3-holder is.
No, what is that?
Well, they're the pit toilets would have and the outhouse has is a shed, and inside there's a plank and with the holes in it. And 2-holder is fairly common, 1-holder is not as common, and 3-holder is deluxe, of course.
Oh.
And I remember later that we had Buicks that also had 3 holes in the radiator. And we always compared that. Everybody knew what the Buick was, of 3-holders.
Oh, that's funny.
But it's different if you have three kids going to the bathroom at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They sit and talk and sing and everything else.